Saturday, October 11th, 2025, and we'll give it a few minutes for people to join and we'll get started. All right, people starting to join now, so we'll give it another minute or so. AB 222, welcome. Yes, I do own a bunch of 1911s. Yeah, actually, I do love the CZ75. I own one of those. It's one of my favorites. I got that because I wanted an alternative to my Glock 21, and the CZ75 is a great fit for the collection. It's well made, and just like all the other CZs, it's very reliable. Pretty much fires anything I feed it. And I do not have a PMM. So today I was starting to reload, but it's too nice of a day to waste time doing that. So maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I've finally received the bullets in about 1,000 cases of 10 millimeter, so I'll be reloading a bunch of that. And I got some powder sent to me from Ogden. And John, yes, we are live already. I did start it a few minutes early. I don't own a black powder, and it's funny you should mention that. I've been thinking of getting one for a long time. I just really don't know much about black powder, but I think it would be a lot of fun to have one. Do you have any recommendations? And we have more people joining now, so don't be shy, guys. We do this live stream every Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern till 1 o'clock. And this is for everyone to uh, ask questions or make comments regarding firearms or accessories. So if you have something you want to bring up, feel free to do so. And Ted Collins, welcome. AG, good afternoon. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll past the comments here. Thompson does make good quality guns. I just really don't know much about black powder, but I'm definitely going to start looking into that soon. And welcome, Maurice. Well, I got to tell you, that 50 cal Hawken, that's got to be worth some money now. So I'm just wondering how many of you guys reload. And Chris Domino, yes, I have a lot of Italian in me. Matter of fact, I'm half Italian and half Italian. If I don't get to your comments right away, I apologize. Again, they scroll by so quickly, I just don't have time to read through them. So please be patient. I will get to you. And if I don't acknowledge you, I will get to it eventually as I scroll through who has joined. The reason I'm asking if anyone reloads, I use an RCBS rock chucker, single stage, and yeah, it's time consuming, but I don't mind it. It just takes my time. But what I did find recently are the Hornady lock and load collars, and that's a game changer because on a single stage press, it's such a pain in the ass to dial in your dies. And what the Hornady lock and load collars let you do is you just insert them into your press, you calibrate your die, and then with a little twist, you just pop them out and put another one in. So you can easily change back and forth between dies. I used to spend a lot of time doing that, and it really saves me a lot of time. I just got about 1,000 cases of 10 millimeter, and on a single stage press, it's really a pain in the ass doing one at a time, but it is what it is. I got the press for free, and I have reloaded thousands of rounds. I was at the local Rural King today, and I was very impressed that I was able to hold myself back. They had a Taurus G2X on sale for $229, and I was able to refrain myself. I did say that I will no longer be purchasing any more 9 millimeters because I have way too many of them, and I did not do that. The last gun I bought was the Glock 29 to complement my Glock 20, so I will no longer be buying any more 9s. I am looking at getting another revolver and 357 Magnum. Probably going to go with the Ruger GP100. Yeah, how ironic is Irvin Johnson 32, the same jersey number as Magic Johnson? And Sailing Girl 69, hello to you. Thank you for joining our channel. Gold Move, Ruger makes some great pistols, and I'm telling you, you ain't kidding about that. I bought the Ruger RXM, and I'm not bashing Glocks. I own a lot of them. But I got to tell you, that Ruger RXM, I'd put that thing up against my Glock 19 any day. And for $350, that's a lot of gun for the money. P89 is a good gun. Now that we have some people out here, I'm curious, how many of you guys dry fire train? I mean, I try to dry fire train at least 3 days a week, closer to 5 if possible. And Francis, glad to see somebody that dry fire trains. The reason I'm asking who dry fire trains is because I just released a video on the dry fire mag, and I got to tell you, if you're not using a dry fire mag, you're wasting your time. It's phenomenal. You don't need to rack the slide, which is the best part about it. And you know, when you dry fire train with a Glock or any other pistol that you need to rack the slide, it's just not productive. In the real world, you're not going to be racking the slide every time you fire. And the dry fire mag is just awesome. You got to take a look at that video. It changes everything. When you dry fire train, it should be natural. And that is one of the best dry fire training aids I've picked up. And we have some more people joining. And Francis, yeah, I also use laser training, but the problem with that is that when you use a laser, you still have to rack the slide to pull the trigger. And with the dry fire mag, you can get it with or without the laser cartridge. I got it with the laser cartridge, so I get the visual representation. I could use it with Mantis Laser Academy and Mantis X, and I still don't need to rack the slide. That's just invaluable. And Liz, hello to you too. Thanks for joining. Those that are new to this stream, we do this every Saturday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern until 1 o'clock. And this is a place where we can share information, ask questions, share our experiences. And like I always say, everybody doesn't know everything, but everybody knows something. So, and I'm doing good too, Liz. How are you? I'm glad to hear that, Liz. Francis, as far as I know, there is no magazine that will reset the trigger on a 1911. However, you may want to check dryfiremag.com. They do make them for a lot of different guns, and I have to check myself because if they make one for a 1911, that's definitely going to be a game changer because I shoot my 1911 a lot, and I'd love to have one of those. Do I think the 5.7 is a gimmick? You know, that's a great question, AB222. did a video a week or so ago about whether the 5.7 is worth buying. Um, I bought the Ruger 5.7 because I got a great deal on it. It was on sale for around $399, and it's got nothing to do with the Ruger. But I kind of think that the 5.7 really is a gimmick. Um, it was designed to replace the 9mm, and that never happened, and it's never going to happen. There's a lot of advantages to the 5.7. It's got very little recoil, so it makes it far easier for follow-up shots. It's a great gun for someone that's never fired before because the recoil is almost like a 22. It was designed to penetrate soft body armor, but realistically, I don't think a 5.7 is really a great defensive round. I'll keep mine, but it would never be my go-to. I'm just saying, there's just a lot of better guns out there on the market. Also, they're very large. 5.7 is not really ideal for concealed carry. Ammo is expensive, and I'm just not seeing it. There's just better calibers out there for self-defense, and I just don't think the 5.7 is the greatest. But that's just me. And Ted Collins, you can't go wrong with any of the CZs. They're just great quality guns. Yeah, and another thing, Ted, I just picked up a box of 50 5.7s at the local gun store, and they were like $35 a box. And they're not really an ideal round to reload. And Bluegill Buster, I agree. 9mm or 45, absolutely. I mean, if all you have is a 5.7, the best gun to have when you need it is the gun you have. But a 5.7 just would never be my go-to gun. AB 222. You're probably going to get your panties all in a bunch. I personally think 40 caliber is just stupid. It really doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand why you don't just get a 10mm and you could shoot 40 caliber out of it. And the guys that have 40 calibers that are going to cry like a bunch of babies obviously have never shot a 10mm because the 40 caliber guys keep saying, well, it's the same as a 10mm. No, it's nowhere near the same as a 10mm. And welcome, Benji. And my thoughts on the 10mm, I'm actually doing that right now. 10mm is an awesome round. And I'll get right to you, Tony. I just don't understand the logic of 40 caliber. They took a perfectly good 10mm cartridge and they neutered it and they cut the case down to make 40 caliber out of it. And it's just stupid. You can shoot 40 caliber out of a 10mm. And the 40 caliber guys that keep saying, oh, it's just like a 10mm. No, if you shoot full grain 10mm, it's nothing like 40 caliber. Unfortunately, when you buy 10mm ammo off the shelf, a lot of it is watered down But if you buy, full blown 10 millimeter, um, that'll take down anything on 2 legs or 4. And I disagree that 10 millimeter is overkill. Um, if you have the right defensive ammo and hollow points, it's not really going to overpenetrate. And unless you're limp wristed, it's very controllable. And Tony, what do I everyday carry? That's a great question. It depends on, I guess, what I'm doing. If I'm going to conceal carry and conceal carry well, I'll either use the Savage Stance or the Hellcat Pro because they conceal very well, and that's what I carry when I go to work. If I'm out and about, I usually carry my Glock 19 because that conceals very well. And you're welcome, Benji. I just, there's some topics that people, get all bent out of joint over, and the 40 caliber is one of them. You say anything bad about 40 caliber, and these people act like, you told them that their mother wears army boots. Yes, bluegill 10 millimeter is too expensive, but I reload a shitload of ammo. And as I said earlier, I just got 1,000 cases of 10 millimeter and 1,000 bullets, 1,000 primers. So I reload my 10 millimeter because not only is it expensive, it's very difficult to find sometimes in the gun store. AB222. Can you clarify what you mean about 10 millimeter compared to 45 ACP? And Joe Sheets, hello, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. I love the fact that we get more and more people join the stream every week. It's fantastic. I love the engagement with my supporters. All right, AB222. I'm not going to get into a caliber wars because it's all about shot placement and what you shoot best. A 10 millimeter is a great round, but I got to tell you, it does take practice. And I'll get right back to you. Benji, thank you for joining. Hope to catch you again. We do this stream every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern till 1 o'clock. So AB222. So basically the bottom line is what you shoot best, right? I love 10 millimeter. I love 45, hence Pro Gun 45. But realistically, a 10 millimeter is not for everybody. I would never recommend anyone to go get a 10 millimeter. You need to put the time in and train with it. And the 45 ACP is definitely much easier for controlling and follow-up shots. 10 millimeter, I got to be honest with you, I love the 10 millimeter. I carry a 10 millimeter, but to be perfectly honest, I cannot do follow-up shots as well with a 10 millimeter as I could with a 9 or a 45. But my logic is I'm not going to have to shoot you more than once with a 10 millimeter. And no, we're not talking about Glock frames. We're talking about in general. However, as far as 10 millimeter goes, in my opinion, there is no alternative. To me, the Glock 20 is by far the best 10 millimeter pistol I've ever shot. Yes, I agree with you, Bluegill. That's why 9 millimeter is so easy to shoot. And Michael Way, hello to you too. Yeah, I agree. Anything is better than a 38 auto. And for that matter, um, I know some people are going to get their panties all in a bunch too, but I'm not a big fan of the 380 either. The 380, you might as well just carry a 9mm. And we do have a few pain in the asses here, which I am removing. And if I missed you, Michael, hello to you. Thanks for joining. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. I've just released a bunch of new videos. Turn on your notifications, and you'll be notified every time I release a new video. To be honest with you, AB 222, I don't own a 7.62, and I don't have any experience with it, so I really can't comment on that. And Tony, I do not own a Glock 45 either. I have a lot of Glocks, but not a 45. And I've been getting away from Glocks lately, only because I have a lot of them. And for the money, honestly, there's just a lot of better guns out there for less money that give you more features than a Glock, in my opinion. And Bluegill Buster, yeah, 38 special in a wheel gun is definitely acceptable. Trust me, you're not going to want to be on the receiving end of a 38 special. And I like revolvers. Revolvers are making a big comeback, actually. Smith & Wesson's just released a bunch of new ones. And if you look at revolver sales, surprisingly, they're on the upsweep. They're very simple to own and operate. And they're very reliable. I very rarely have seen a revolver jam in 40 years. I carry all of my revolvers from time to time, which is why when I get a revolver, I get a 3-inch barrel, because 3-inch barrel on a revolver seems to be a good sweet spot, especially for sighting and shooting it at the range. 4-inch barrel is just too bulky to carry. I got a Colt Python in 3-inch. That's one of my favorite carry revolvers, and I have a Smith & Wesson 686, and I'm probably going to be getting a Ruger GP100. And Ted Collins, can you explain your QC problems? I'm definitely curious, because my Smith & Wesson 686 has been flawless, and I'd like to hear what problems you've experienced, because I've never had a problem with a Smith & Wesson revolver. And are you talking about, and Ted, are you talking about Smith & Wesson revolvers or pistols or what? AB 222. Colt is getting better now that CZ bought them. Right up until the end, the quality of the Colts have really declined. But Christmas, I bought myself a Colt Python Combat Elite, and I got to tell you, I love that thing. And you know why the Colts are so expensive? When you pull the trigger on a Colt Python, man, that is like butter. that's where that $1,200 goes. It's in the trigger. I fired a lot of revolvers in 40 years, and I got to tell you, in my opinion, there's no trigger on any revolver I've ever fired that was as smooth as the Colt Python. And hello, John. Yeah, the Dan Wesson is a great gun, and by the way, CZ owns Dan Wesson too. So um, Colt and Ruger. Yeah, I do not own a Ruger revolver yet, but the next revolver I get will definitely be a Ruger GP 100. I will get a 3-inch barrel and 7 rounds. And yes, you do get what you pay for, Bluegill. Um, you know, I fire all my guns. I don't have any safe queens. There's a lot of people that buy expensive guns and they lock them away. Every gun I own, at some point in time, I do carry, including my $1,200 Colt Python, and that was the best money ever spent. Um, I got the Colt Python Combat Elite because I love the nickel finish and I love the G10 grips and the fiber optic sights. And on the Combat Elite, the cylinder is not fluted, so it is a little heavier because it's solid. But man, that is a beauty, and I do carry it. I don't worry about getting scratches on it. Now, I'm curious what you all use for holsters. I just released a video a few days ago, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Um, and I love the Tucker gun leather holsters. They are custom handmade, and they are worth every penny. And they're not really that much more than some of the other leather holsters out there. I mean, they start at about $150. And to be honest with you, I didn't spend $1,200 on a Colt Python to use a shitty $40 holster, right? But when you order a holster from Tucker Gun Leather, it's just incredible. All the options you have, right? You pick the color of the holster. I got to pick the leather color, so it's two-tone. I got black and cherry. You get to pick the stitching color, whether you want a thumb break or not, conchos. And I got to tell you, for the money, you're not going to find a better handmade holster than Tucker Gun Leather. And thank you again for the compliment, John, and good luck with your son. And I feel for your brother living in the communist state of New Jersey. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, there's a lot of leather holsters out there, but for the money, when you buy a Tucker gun leather holster, you know, you get what you pay for. The drawback to the Colt holsters is that the wait time is about 4 to 6 months. And honestly, that's just a long, long time. But I'd rather wait on my gun and know that it's being made in the USA than to have it sitting on a container, you know, in China. And Ozzy Osbourne, you make your own leather holsters. I'd be happy to do a review for you and give you a plug and some credit. Yeah, I agree with you, Ted. I definitely need some um, more moderators. We do have a bunch of wise asses that join, but that's okay. People are finding our channel. Um, it amazes me though why people would even waste their time joining a live stream on a gun channel. But I guess um, they got done jerking off and they got nothing else to do. And I've never seen or heard of a nylon 66. That's a great question there, AB 222. Um, my thoughts on red dots on pistols. If you would ask me a year or so ago, um, I would have probably said I would never have one on my everyday carry, but uh, I have one on pretty much every one of my guns that are optic ready. Um, that being said, you definitely need to be able to shoot iron sights well before you go to, uh, you know, a red dot, because a red dot can fail or break, and then you're going to have to rely on your iron sights. Um, and there's a bit of a learning curve, I guess. If you've never fired with a red dot before, it's probably easier. Um, if you're old school like I am, I found it like, the cat chasing the laser pointer. I found it to be a bit of a learning curve, but once you get used to it, um, the red dot definitely um, gives you very quick target acquisition. And NA, yes, iron sight is better, in my opinion. Um, and you definitely should be able to shoot with iron sights. A lot of the new gun owners are going out and buying guns with just red dots on them, and they're not learning to shoot with irons. And if the sight breaks or the battery dies, you're screwed if you can't shoot with iron sights. So, yeah, and I agree with you, Ted. Um, I've been shooting for over 40 years, and I found it a challenge. Um, it definitely gives you quicker target acquisition, but I would probably say I still can shoot better with iron sights than with red dots. Yeah, AB 222, that is a far stretch, but if you have the money, yeah, a thermoscope is worth it. And that's a great point, Ted. Um, I mean, I'm old school. I like shooting with irons, but like I said, all my guns are optic ready, so I have optics on them. But I do like the fact that when you're shooting with a dot, it's very easy to shoot with both eyes open, and you don't have to worry about the aligning the sights because you only have one focal point. So, yes. Also, I have astigmatism, and I found that green dots work better than red dots for me. Um, when I look at a red dot, to me it looks like a jagged ball of yarn. So green dots just happen to work better with my stigmatism. Uh, AB 222. First of all, out of the box, the Glocks come with plastic sights. And actually, that's what pisses me off. You spend all that money on a Glock and they give you those shitty plastic sights. The first thing I do every time I buy a Glock is get rid of those sights and replace them with night sights. Yes, Ted, I got to tell you, you'll be amazed at how much of a difference green dots work if you have astigmatism. Trust me. I know you've subscribed to the channel. I've done a lot of reviews on red dots. Take a look at my reviews on the Zalissi optics. I've reviewed their green dots. And for the money, I got to tell you, Zalissi optics, I'd put up against my Hollow Suns any day. And they're only about $150. And Latoya Jackson, I've never heard of a Zastavas, or however it's pronounced. So I apologize, but I can't answer on that because I've never heard of it. I did reach out to Olight to see if they could send me their O-Sight to review, but they haven't answered me. You know, one of the benefits, though, to a red dot is that, I mean, even if you have night sights or if you don't, sometimes it's very, very dark and you don't have a sight picture, right? And you can't take the shot. But with the dot, you'll always be able to see the dot. And that's why I put night sights on all of my guns. There's just sometimes in the dark, you just can't see the sights. So another thing I learned is that when it comes to red dots, I prefer the manual brightness. I've learned that I've tried a few auto brightness. The problem is that auto brightness requires some ambient light to adjust the brightness. And out of all of the auto brightness red dots I've tried, none of them work when it's dark or pitch black. That's why I like the manual, because if you set the manual brightness, it works day, night, whatever. The only difference is that if you set up your manual brightness in the dark, you'll have to manually change it in the light or daylight, because it's not going to automatically adjust. But I'd rather have that. But I know that none of my auto brightness red dots work if I pick them up off my nightstand and the room is pitch black. So if it was me and I was getting a red dot, I would definitely get a manual adjustment. But like I said, I've reviewed a lot of optics, but for the money, I love the Zalissi. I would probably go with the Siley second, and I would take either of them over the Hollow Sun. And I do run a Hollow Sun on my Hellcat Pro, but after trying the Zalissi, I won't waste my money on the Hollow Sun anymore. And a time check, it is 12:36. We will end this stream at 1 o'clock. We do this live stream every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern for those who just joined, and we do it until 1 o'clock. I'm going to actually write that name down, that Zastbus. Zastbus. I've never heard of them before, but I will reach out and see if they could send me one to review. I'm always looking for new products. And I used to be a fan of the Swamp Fox. If you're talking about the ZASTAVAS, John, I think that's what you're talking about. I just wrote it down. I'm going to look into that. Oh, it's a gun. Well, I thought it was a sight. But I haven't had any luck from Osite. I was disappointed that they never answered my email, but screw them. I'm perfectly happy with my Ulysses, and I'll be honest with you, John. First of all, Zulisi, Siley, um, they're made in China, but guess what? So is Hollow Sun. And everybody brags about how great a Hollow Sun is. They're made in China as well. So I have no problem going with a Zulisi. I would probably, if it was up to me and it was affordable, of course I would always buy one that's made in America. But you start going into Trijicon, I mean, you're talking some serious money. And even the Vortex are made in China. Michael Way, to answer your question, yeah, I would recommend buying a gun from a pawn shop. A pawn shop probably has a lot of hidden gems in there, especially when it comes to revolvers or long guns. My only hesitation on buying a gun from a pawn shop is that if you get a striker fired gun, they're probably not going to let you strip it all the way down to see if the striker is broken. But I'm sure you can get a lot of hidden gems in a pawn shop. People are on hard times, and they probably get practically nothing for a gun that's worth some serious money. But I guess on the flip side of that is the pawn shops probably cherry pick. And I would bet you that the employees or the owner of the pawn shop probably already takes all the good guns. But I've never actually done it, but now that you bring it up, that's a great point. I have some pawn shops in my area that have big LED signs that say guns and ammo, and I think I'm going to go into one of them one of these days and see what they have in there. I agree with you on that, Ted. Used guns can be problematic. You don't know, if people neglected them, especially striker-fired pistols. But revolvers are almost impossible to break, and you'll know right away if the timing is off. But I would not buy a semi-automatic pistol from a pawn shop unless they let me break it down and take out the striker and inspect it. And I doubt they're going to let you do that. All right, and it's almost 1:45. So if you guys have any topics you want to discuss or um, make any comments pro or uh, for or against any firearms you've purchased, feel free to do so. This is why we do this live stream so we can share information. Um, you know, buying guns are like buying cars. Sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a lemon. Um, it's good to hear other people's point of view. Like someone said earlier, their experience with the Smith and Wesson. I've never experienced it, and I guess it's just like a Taurus. Um, I own a few Tauruses. The revolvers are great. Their semi-automatics are hit or miss. Quality control on Taurus is very spotty. You either get a good one or a bad one. I've been lucky, I guess. I haven't had any problems with mine. And some people have had nothing but problems. Um, but if you Google the amount of recalls on Tauruses, it's mind boggling. The number is just astronomically high. But people do love them. Um, and it comes to the next part. They like them because they're cheap. But for me personally, when I go to buy a gun, um, cheap just never enters my brain. When I go into a gun store, I never go into a gun store saying, let me find the cheapest gun you have to protect my life and my family. That, that just never occurs to me. Don't get me wrong. I try to find a deal just like everybody else, but I don't go there looking for cheap. Um, you have to look at it this way. If it's a plinker or something to just play around on the range, that's one thing. Um, but if you're buying it for uh, personal defense, um, I just wouldn't go cheap. And Mike, I don't have any experience with the Henry Big Boy in 327 Magnum, uh, but I definitely am looking into the Henry Big Boy in 357 Magnum. As I've stated before, I'm dying to get a lever action uh, rifle in 357 Magnum because I have a boatload of 357 Magnum ammo. And I like the Henry Big Boy. I like the Marlin, and I like the Smith and Wesson 1854. I'm kind of leaning towards the Marlin right now, especially now that Ruger bought them. I agree with that. Jabba the 809. Like I said, I don't normally go into a gun store and blindly just start looking like a mental patient, just trying to find a gun just to buy one. I typically have something in mind when I go there. Um, and I very rarely will deviate. Now, I may shop around, like go to grabagun.com or Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo or my local Rural King. Um, but like I said, I don't go there looking to buy a cheap gun. Um, some people go out there and they're looking for a cheap gun like a Sky or a High Point. I don't like bashing guns, but honestly, if you're going to buy a Sky or a High Point, it's just stupid, and you don't value yourself or your family. If you think that your life and your family's life is only worth $200, you don't think too much of yourself or your family. That's just my logic. And sometimes if I go into a gun store and I pick up a gun and it feels good in my hand, I really like it. Um, I'll buy it whether it's on sale or not. But grabagun.com has great deals, and So does Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo. And Zach Estrada, I've answered that question earlier, but if you weren't here, I'll answer it again. And I'm sorry, I answered it about the 5.7. I've never heard of a 5.45 round, so. And James Vetter, you know, the PT series were not the best quality guns Taurus ever manufactured. That's why they stopped making them. And unfortunately, Taurus just got a bad rap, right? And rightfully so. In the 80s, Taurus turned out a lot of shit in Brazil, and they've never recovered from it. And even now, their quality control is just very spotty. I bought the Taurus G3C because, to be honest with you, I wasn't looking for a deal. It was an impulse buy. It was in my local Rural King, and they had it for like $199. And I figured, you know, for that price, I'll buy it just to do a gun review. And I haven't had a problem with it, to be honest with you. But there's a lot of people that do. And, you know, Taurus comes with a lifetime warranty, and, you know, hopefully you'll never need it because their customer support really sucks. I called them once to ask them a simple question and never did get in touch with anyone. So, you know, customer service means a lot also. And when you're looking at Taurus now for the money, you don't have to spend much more money to get a better quality gun. I mean, look at the Ruger RXM. And for $350, it's not much more than a Taurus. It's a lot better quality. And I'd put that up against my Glock 19 any day. And thanks for clarifying that, Zach. I don't have any experience with the AK platform. I don't have anything against it. I just don't own any. I have all ARs. So if somebody else can answer the question. And the Tactical Llama, hello to you. Thanks for joining. And Tactical Llama, we do this live stream every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern till 1 o'clock. So we are on the tail end of the live stream, but we do it weekly. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Watch our videos. Share our videos so that we can keep our channel going. And, you know, all of the firearms and accessories that we review come from our YouTube monetization and support from our YouTube viewers and subscribers and people that join our channel and become members. You know, we're very small. I can't afford to go out and buy a new gun every week to review. And the Tactical Llama, thank you, brother. I appreciate you watching the channel. I really do. Love all you guys. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. We'll probably hit 7,000 subscribers this month, which is huge because I only had 1,000 subscribers in January. And my goal was to have 10,000 by the end of the year. And I'm going to fall short, and that's okay. It's only a goal. But, you know, we just keep doing what we're doing. John, my next video, I'm probably going to be doing a video on why you don't need to buy a Glock, what my favorite guns are, and due to popular demand, I will be doing a bunch of dry fire training videos. And until I generate more revenue, I'm not going to be in the position of buying a new gun for a while. So and that's awesome, Tactical Llama. That 16,005 is great. I'm very encouraged. I mean, we came a long way, right? I mean, we had 1,000 subscribers in January, and it's October, and I'll definitely have 7,000 this month. Probably be close to 10,000 by the end of the year. And if I fall short, that's fine. You need to have a goal, and that's all it is a goal. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Unfortunately, I don't have the revenue. And thank you so much, Tactical Llama. I really, really appreciate that. It's the support from people like you to help keep us going. And Jabba to 809, thank you so much for your comments too. Love you guys. I like the positive feedback that I get every now and then. I know I get a lot of people that flame me. There's a lot of wise asses on the stream, but it's because of people like you that enjoy the channel, which is why we keep doing it. And every bit helps. Again, that donation is huge for us. The more donations we make, the more firearms we could review. I'm kind of at an impasse right now because it's going to take a while to accumulate more funds to buy another gun. And my reviews are honest. I don't just say something is good just because a product was sent to me to review. If the product is bad, I'm going to say it's bad. I basically do the reviews to prevent people from making a mistake. And thank you, John. I appreciate that. And you know what? I haven't thought about it, but maybe I will do a second live stream, maybe midweek. Everybody can't join Saturday, obviously, and it's very difficult to pick a time that's convenient for everyone. For selfish reasons, I do Saturday at 12 noon because it works for me. And I do have a loyal following, but I will definitely consider that, John. Maybe I'll do one, like Wednesday evening. Some people work weekends or, weekends may be the only day that people have to run errands. And Sarita Morales, thank you for joining. Let me write that down. Thursday. You know what? I'm going to put this in y'all's court. I'm more than willing to do another live stream. So for the people that are on this stream, if I were to do another one during the week, what day would you pick, Monday through Friday? And whatever gives me the most, I'll pick. I don't ship anywhere, so I don't know what you're talking about there, South Africa. And I think I'm going to make you go away because that's just a stupid question. All right, guys. So those that are interested in another stream, does Thursday evening work for you all? Because as of right now, it will be Thursday evening. I am Eastern time. Yeah, I agree, Ted. Evening probably would get more, and people do like this, and that's why I keep doing it. So as of right now, it is going to be on Thursday, and I will update that and post a message in the channel. And thank you again, John. I appreciate that so much. Um, every little bit helps, you know. Again, I'm a small channel. I don't get guns sent to me for free to review. I do have to purchase them all, and I purchase them with the uh, revenue I get from YouTube, which is right now being used to pay off the credit card for the recent guns I did buy. So, all right. So now we already decided we're going to have a live stream on Thursday evenings. What time works? Being I'm in Eastern time. Um, yeah, I know Thursday has football, but um, I need somebody else to then give me a better day. So we have Thursday and Wednesday. All right, this is going to be a competition now. And Sarita, SDI, if you're talking about the Soren Desert Institute for Gunsmithing, it's awesome. They got a great program. And Ozzy, Wednesday, 7. All right. One thing for y'all to keep in mind, it's Eastern time here. I get up early for work in the morning, so I'm not going to be doing a live stream at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And I like Ozzy's suggestion, so and John Hedden, thanks for your support. I'm glad you'll be there either way. Unless there's any objections, and this is one thing I love having this interaction with you all, is trying to do what works for you guys, and I'm here for you. All right. So here's the deal. I listen to what you all say. This channel is for you. I do the stream for you guys. We're going to do this stream Wednesday evenings at 7 o'clock p.m. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Turn on notifications. And what I will do is a day or so before, I will post a message indicating that we will have the stream. And matter of fact, I'll probably even put in there that we do it on Wednesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 noon Eastern till 1 o'clock. Sold. So we'll be doing it on Wednesday evenings at 7 o'clock p.m., which works out perfectly for me because it'll be done by 8 o'clock. And again, I go to bed early because I get up early in the morning. And Ted, you be safe too. Thank you so much, brother. Love having you guys. We had a lot of new faces today, and I like that. And Sarita Morales, it's always so good to have a woman join. So feel free to give a woman's point of view on things or things you'd like me to cover for women. I know it's a lot of guys out here asking guy questions. And Jabba 809, thank you too, brother. And Sarita, the SDI is a great program. If your son wants to be a gunsmith, that's a great thing to do. It's very enjoyable. It's a great hobby, and you can make some good money. And God be with you too, Sarita. Thank you so much for joining. Love having you. Hope to join again. And again, I really value doing this for you guys on Saturday afternoons. And now that we'll be doing it on Wednesday, hopefully we'll have even more people. All right, it is 1 o'clock. We have reached our time limit here. So we are going to end this gun stream. And hello, and I'm sorry for the people just joining. Subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications so you'll be alerted. We do this live stream every Saturday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern until 1 o'clock. The stream is over. John, take care. Thank you so much again for your input. So just to sum up, due to popular request, we will be doing this live stream every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 noon. And I agree, we need more ladies in the firearms community. You all know ladies that are firearm enthusiasts. Share the information, share the channel, let them know. We're in the Eastern time zone, and we really would like to get more females out here. There are a lot more gun owners out there than you would think, so I would love to have them join the channel. But anyway, you guys are great. I love you all. There's a lot better things you could be doing with your time than spending it with me, so I definitely appreciate that. And we'll catch you on the next weekday stream at Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you all for joining.